The Electoral Commission of South Africa is launching a nationwide campaign in Limpopo today, and it's aimed at educating young people on the democratic and electoral processes. It is going to be rolled out to nearly 100 tertiary institutions countrywide until September. And Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala is at a TVET College in Phalaborwa. She will join us shortly. We're hoping as well that we will be in conversation with the IEC chair, Mosotho Moepa. It's a big one as we head down and count down the clock to this election in South Africa's anniversary year, 30 years into democracy, and billed as one of the most important elections in our democratic history. Nqobile, over to you.
Well, Iman, it is a day where IEC is going to be talking about that voter education becoming very relevant. You will know that young people are one of the most important pieces at this end, where we can know what kind of democracy that they want. So I want to bring in now a chairperson who would understand how this would affect IEC in a whole. I mean, one would think that the registration is done already, chairperson. So what's the use then of telling young people in terms of what role they play in democracy?
Well, the time is never gone when you can say important things about leading a civic life that involves democracy, education, participating in a democracy, and so on and so forth. This year, and today in particular, we are celebrating 30 years of electoral democracy in the country. We have engaged with these young people in this year before registration closed. But true to the program we have with the education sector, every year we go to them and we celebrate and have a theme of them participating in democracy. And this is what we are doing here today. We will be doing it until September, not just for registration. Of course, if they want to participate in electoral activity, they will. Today we will also be reminding them that they are eligible if they are registered to not only vote, to stand for office, elected office, and so on and so forth. And it remains important. That's a message that will never get out of fashion. It's a thing that this nation needs. Leaders must be nurtured and raised, and that's what we want to try and do today.
And on a national platform, how is it looking in terms of young people? We know that they have registered, mainly on the online system, but is it looking good?
This year, it looks better than we have had in the past. And I mean it, because the proportion of voters, young voters, 18 to 25, is much greater than we have hitherto had. And we celebrate it because they are not abstaining, they are not staying away. They simply need engagement, and that's why we have to be here. We've got to engage with them, as we will do. We've got to remind them, as we will do. But we've got to also listen to, their hopes, their aspirations, their gripes, and see what we can do as people, as leaders, as a nation.
And what are the numbers telling you, especially on the international platform, but also where we are standing? Is there voter turnout?
The category of people we are talking to today is the greatest in terms of turnout. The base is low, but young people, once they register, a greater proportion of those that are registered actually turn out on election day to come and vote. And that speaks volumes about their interest and their participation. To get them to register, of course, you must put an effort, and we are not going to be lazy to do it. We are not going to look the other side when we need to do it. That's why we will travel distances. That's why we will use every good means to get to them, and that's why we will engage with them. And it gives me great joy to see so many of them that are here today that we will be able to talk to.
And lastly, what can we expect you to say to them?
You can expect that we will celebrate. We will tell them to celebrate the democracy they have. We will talk a little bit about where we come from and what are the things that are on the horizon. But we will also talk to them about not just being, people that must give their votes because they are registered, but people who are themselves eligible. They can be leaders. They can participate in this democracy. This democracy needs all of us. It needs them too.
Thank you very much for speaking to us, Chairperson. And I want to bring in now a student, Iman, and this becomes very important, of course, because from where we are standing, the student will be one of those people that will be speaking to the young people on the ground that they are studying with. And I understand that you're also part of the SRC, even though you're speaking to me as a student. And perhaps give me that idea, as a young person, are you aware just how important your vote is?
Yes, I'm aware of my voting. It says a lot. It means that I am in charge of my rights. It shows that I am incapable of doing things in my own way. As a South African citizen, it shows like a lot of responsibilities as a young citizenship.
And Dimisha, you with a lot of young people who are probably in the same age group as you, do they understand what role they play in democracy?
I don't understand that question.
Do the young people that you interact with understand why they should vote?
Yes, it means that they should be in charge of their rights. And it means that their future is in our hands as young people, as young generation. So putting a vote, it means that you are making a voiceless being a voice. Yes.
And what are you hoping is going to happen in 2024 elections?
I hope for the better, honestly speaking. Like, we've been led, but then there's no progress. So perhaps this year, everything's going to change.
Thank you very much for speaking to us, Dimisha. Well, Iman, what we are getting there from the young people is that they say they are hoping for the best. They're hoping to see some change taking place. They're saying that they have been led. But what's also important is that Dimisha is telling us that the young people realize the importance of exercising their rights, and much like what IEC is saying, is that the conversation will continue into getting the young people to understand their role in the democracy.
Very encouraging. Nqobile Madlala there, just sharing with us the rolling out of this nationwide campaign that the IEC is launching, particularly to activate the youth vote. Well,